The New Jersey Devils are a really interesting team because last time we made a video about these guys, okay, no, it was not last time, it was a few times ago because the last video about the Devils technically was the previous video on the channel talking about Shane Wright dropping the fourth again, but we made a video a few days ago talking about how the New Jersey Devils were very, very close to signing Johnny Gaudreau. And how he was already in talks with the Devils. He was conversing with that team, getting an extension, or not an extension, but a contract worked out on the free agent market, only for the Columbus Blue Jackets to come in there, make a call to Johnny and say, hey, Columbus, we want you. And he's like, oh, I like Columbus more than I like New Jersey. Let's go there, agent. And then they worked out the deal. That was the last video on the channel, I believe, talking about the Devils. And all in all, it's one that a lot of Devils fans are kind of like, okay, come on, man. Like, Johnny Gaudreau was talking to us. He almost was going to sign with us, and then Columbus came in here and stole him from us. That sucks. Now we're going to boo the guy every time the Blue Jackets are in town, which makes sense to me. But aside from Johnny Gaudreau, and that doesn't really count because that didn't even happen, the Devils haven't made too many free agent signings during this period. Of course, they re-signed Jesper Boqvist, they re-signed Vitek Vanecek. He doesn't count, remember, because they traded for his rights at the draft. They made the Ty Smith for John Marino trade, they signed Andre Palat, as well as Brian Pinho, I believe, but that's about it. But when it comes to the magnitude of what the Devils were trying to do with Johnny Gaudreau, they had not done anything in that respect that is on the same level. I guess if you want to say the Marino-Smith trade, but that's not really a signing, it's just a trade, so it's in a little bit of a different realm there. And so, even though the New Jersey Devils did improve their team tremendously, Palat, Marino, Vanecek, as I said, good players getting added to a squad that is young and improving, you still have that Johnny Gaudreau potential discussion that fell through. Which is why we had ourselves a tweet here from Renaud Lavoie saying that, hey, even though the New Jersey Devils went out there and tried to court former Calgary Flame Johnny Gaudreau and it didn't work, they still tried their luck with other Calgary Flames players. I'm told, Renaud Lavoie says here on Twitter, the Devils were really interested in Matthew Tkachuk. They tried hard to trade for him the last few days and weeks. The Florida Panthers eventually won the Derby, though. And that's the thing. I like this tweet a lot because Renaud Lavoie says it's not just been the past few days, it's been the past few weeks, too. There were some other tweets from Frank Saravelli, for example, saying, hey, you had the Carolina Hurricanes checking in the past few days. Only days. You had the St. Louis Blues, who were also deep in these talks as well. And so for Matthew Tkachuk to go from Calgary to Florida, obviously we all know why Florida won. Florida won the sweepstakes because they traded away a first, a good prospect in Cole Schwindt, Jonathan Huberdeau, and Mackenzie Weegar, too. That is a huge, huge package, and there's nothing really that I think the Blues or the Devils or the Hurricanes could have thrown out there and said, hey, here's your package from Florida. We'll one-up that by giving you this package of this player and this other pick and this other prospect. Like, no, you're trading away Matthew Tkachuk with an extension, by the way, sign and trade, very first official sign and trade deal ever done in the NHL. Amazing, amazing move right there. But you're trading away Tkachuk for Huberdeau. And you could debate that Huberdeau by himself, value to value wise, forget the contract, forget the money, forget the long term, whatever. Value for value as a hockey player, Jonathan Huberdeau is arguably one of the best players in the league. I mean, you talk about Gaudreau being second in points in the NHL this previous season. Huberdeau was third. So, like, you don't really get any better than that. I'm sorry, New Jersey, Carolina, all these other teams. Screw the fact that Weegar and Huberdeau need extensions. You are not going to be able to match a package in that respect at all. And so, with New Jersey being in the forefront here, I do like the idea that Renaud Lavoie says it has been weeks, because that implies that at the start of free agency, day one, last week on Tuesday, we had ourselves a reality where the New Jersey Devils could have potentially thought to themselves, hey, we're going after Gaudreau, we're going to try to sign this guy, and we're going to have conversations with him and the agent, but at the same time, we are also trying to trade for Matthew Tkachuk. Could you imagine if everything went New Jersey's way, they made a trade for Matthew, they didn't get some sort of competing offer from Florida that absolutely blew the Flames' pants off, and they got Matthew? What if they also signed Gaudreau? What if the New Jersey Devils, in any one of the realities that exists in the multiverse, was able to get 2 of the 3 players on one of the best lines in the entire league who both had 100 points signed to long-term extensions with their club that already boasts 2 first overall caliber centers in Nico Hischier and Jack Hughes, and a second overall defenseman that they took in this year's recent NHL draft that might or might not play next season. We'll see what the plan is for Nemec. And you also have John Marino that you added in the Ty Smith trade. You improved your team tremendously already with the moves that you made, and you lost out on Gaudreau and Tkachuk. What if everything went your way? What if next season the New Jersey Devils had Holtz and Hughes and Hischier and Brott, you re-signed Brott, of course, as well as Tkachuk and Gaudreau with Marino and Nemec and Hamilton? Oh my gosh, things could have been nightmare fuel for the rest of the Metropolitan Division. New Jersey being so involved in Matthew Tkachuk as well as Johnny Gaudreau is a mind-blowing realization to me, because now I see that Tom Fitzgerald, man, this man has a plan, and they missed out on Tkachuk, they missed out on Gaudreau. It's kind of getting me interested into seeing what they're going to do next with all the assets and the investment that they put into those 2 players that ended up not manifesting into any results for their team. Is there another free agent or 2 that they try to go after? I mean, they have Andre Palat. I said that entire thing about Hughes and Hischier and the defense and Tkachuk and Gaudreau without even mentioning Palat. So maybe Palat is the guy that is going to come over here and add a different dynamic to this team and their point-scoring ability. But still, Matthew Tkachuk, Florida Panther, could have been a Devil, who really knows? If there was a trade package that in my mind I'm trying to justify could realistically compete with the Huberdeau, Weegar first and prospect package that the Florida Panthers actually sent over, I'm kind of thinking you have to send over a piece like Jack Hughes, maybe a Nico Hischier, maybe a Jesper Bratt. You'd probably have to send over a player like John Marino, and then a first, and then another prospect. Yeah, absolutely no-go territory there for the New Jersey Devils, because they cannot say that they can sacrifice that many assets in the same way that Florida did, because Florida, of course, I mean, all those assets, Huberdeau, Weegar, and stuff, they help now, but the first and the prospect, they help long-term too. It's just the long-term projectability of Huberdeau and Weegar with their team was not all too guaranteed. They didn't know if they would get re-signed to extensions, so the way things have gone on for New Jersey, I guess you're kind of okay, because it's like, yeah, we would not have been able to match that trade package in the slightest, so shogunai, right? There's absolutely nothing we could have done. But talk in the comments either way all your thoughts about the Devils almost getting Johnny Gaudreau a few days ago in free agency, and how they were also one of the frontrunners in the Matthew Tkachuk trade sweepstakes, and it appears that they'd been in that position for weeks now. Renaud Lavoie, man, thank you so much for making the tweet, because we made an entire video talking about it. Talk to me in the comments all your thoughts about the Devils and their offseason. I hope you enjoyed this Juraj 99, and bye.